welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we have a very interesting bracelet. You might notice I had to send 3 strands to the left and 3 strands to the right, basically to get the color ones on the one side and some of the extra blacks to the other. And so kind of when I do that, I like to get this, like, how I do this looping over thing, right? To over the grouping to get the nice edges. I like to get the first couple in and tie a knot to hold the loop closed. Hopefully that makes sense. And then I can kind of get on with the rest of the stuff. So super crazy, kind of having to look at the pattern all the time sort of bracelet. Mind you, it's just 12 strings. By the way, oh, sorry. This is pattern 65470 on friendshipbracelets.net. I have modded it out incredibly. Before it had it bounced hard off on the sides. Now it's just this gradual like that. Right? Ooh, mustache. Yeah. So to make it easier on myself, you'll notice like that. I keep building out full rows potentially in places because it kind of made it easier to see kind of where I was and keep track with the pattern. So obviously I didn't kind of do it right there, but you'll see like throughout it, like I start to come into my own and find ways to try to just make it easier. Mind you, I didn't do any like tick off where I am on the pattern. So it did, okay. If we compared this to yesterday's was like an hour and 7 minutes, 6 minutes. This was like an hour. I don't remember exactly, but it was just a little bit more. And I associate that with having to look at the pattern more. It wasn't terribly bad. And kind of after a while, you start to get used to the idea that there's a lot of places where it goes in groups of 4. And that was okay. I kind of like once it was established, I was kind of going, I didn't mind it at all. And it's so the camera is struggling, if you can't tell. Like, this is a yellow that's running through the middle. Like, I think it shows up better over on this camera. But they're all fluorescent, including the purple. So the only thing that's not fluorescent is the actual black that I used. And you may know I don't really like to necessarily work with black string because it's harder on the eyes. It's whatever. But I wanted that absolute contrast when it came to these neons, and just to make it just pop like it does. And yeah, it's super cool. It is really, really, really cool. This is more advanced because you're really going to have to work the pattern. You're going to have to kind of whatever. I mean, it's a much more difficult bracelet, especially when it gets into the edges, like when it's like what it's about to do there, because there is so much zigzagging and making sure that you get the count right with the number of zigzags that are needed. That's probably like the biggest hang up on it, is that. Now, these colors went from pretty much the beginning of the bracelet all the way to the end of the bracelet, and I did not have problems with the tassel. Go figure. I don't know. Maybe it was some of those strings that I had yesterday that was problematic, but yeah, this one was pretty cool. It worked out fine. So yeah. And if I sound bad, I think I have some kind of a cold or something. I'm sorry if I don't sound like myself, but like some kind of a respiratory thing going on here. So yeah, parts of this, you might be able to tell that there was a bunch of trying to figure out how to assess the best way of getting through this part. And yeah, I don't really know, but yeah, you'll kind of see, like I do a lot of counting to make sure where I'm at. Do I have the right number of stuff? Because in order to get to the right place to where the purple starts coming back down, um, you have to get the stuff on the far right, and then kind of figuring out, like, is there enough? Is this the time? Yeah. It's a bit more tedious. Again, though, the end result is probably worth it. Honestly, it's going to look cool. I mean, Mandy's seen a lot of my bracelets, and I shot her an image after I got it done, and it got a wow out of her. I don't always get a wow, so yay. Um, and again, this is one of those ones where I could be very, very tempted in keeping it for myself, because it's yeah, that just looks really super cool. Yeah. So the whole having to do like a little bit to be able to get down here to be able to bring in the purple down to the end, and yeah. And I'm not sure that we necessarily, when we joined up the two pieces to get it to do the curve, that we necessarily joined it exactly right, because some of it felt kind of off. Like the first part of it, like it was all in chunks of four. And then as it's coming down this way, there were some threes in it. And I'm not quite sure how that happened. Again, because I was kind of using somebody else's pattern and sort of meshed it together in a way to make what I wanted to do happen, might have not quite lined it up or whatever. I don't know. It's still very cool, and it's still very symmetrical to the center and everything else. It's just there's little bits that were a little bit different, and which left me kind of wondering, like, wait, why is this a 3 and not a 4, and why is this kind of different from what I was expecting? And again, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it still comes out cool. And you can see I really like, I like segment knotting. You can kind of see in here there's really kind of no chance of really doing that. Um, and it's sort of, I don't know, it sort of wouldn't make sense, because again, you're trying to make sure that the pattern is going as you see on your paper. My case, it was up on my screen. Um, but yeah, yeah. So a bit advanced, I guess. I mean, I'm bound to do it. Mind you, it's only a 12 string, right? So it's not like a huge thing. I think I've seen some patterns like this up in the 16, 18, 24 type things. Um, I might try one of those at some point. Again, I just like the fact that it went into this like smooth curvy line thing. I think that was really cool. Um, yeah, so now it's going to start coming back the other way. And wait, did it just do a little? No, it just did the little zigzag. So it's almost ready to come back the other way. Yeah, so okay, you can see like this time I kind of figured out like if I kind of concentrated and worked the bits until I could get the purple to start coming down, it would make more sense for me to be able to find out how much of a zigzags I needed for everything else to kind of like that one has to happen. So then the yellow can happen. And now, so the orange can happen. And now the orange is going to take the long route. So this next orange, we'll do a short one. The yellow will come back and it can be longer as well. It kind of, that part did make it easy. So if you're kind of confused by the pattern, like that is a good method for keeping on course. Mind you, we're past the halfway point, and I do need to thank my Patreon supporters as well as my YouTube members for making this possible. Um, Honestly, they they really do keep the channel going. Without their support, I don't know. I don't know if I would still even be doing this. So, thank you very much, guys, for everything, for the floss, for the lights and the microphone and everything. So thank you guys very, very much. So yeah, so already we've already hit the far edge of where it comes over, right? So the purple just have like a little one knot more. And then these will kind of do their thing. Um, yeah, overall, definitely recommend if you're a fairly advanced bracelet maker, I would definitely recommend trying out this pattern. It was fun. It looks cool. I mean, yes, the neon colors make it like, wah, but you could do this with something else. You could do this with, regular plain old colors. You could do it. Wait, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could do it with almost the rainbow. Oh, you could do a rainbow. You could do a rainbow. What you would do is the sixth color would be your background, right? And then you would have the other 5 doing the wavy thing. That would be very cool. That would be neat. So there you go. Ideas for you guys. Um, yeah, I can actually really like that idea. I might actually mess around with that later on. I wonder which color. Okay, it'd probably be red, right? Because I like red. But I was thinking maybe, oh, it could be blue, like a blue sky, and then do the rest, right? Because if we do the blue, then it would be the purple. Wait. So the last color would be green before coming back to blue again. Yeah, that would be really good. Yeah, I might try that. So yeah, almost done going all the way completely to the right. Now basically all it has to do is come back to the left to finish this thing up, which obviously it takes a while because there's lots of little zigzags that have to happen. Oh, that was me counting like the actual zigzags to try to figure out like how much more does it take for the purple to get to where it makes its line. Again, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of, am I there yet? and and now here it is. So I really do think that there's a lot of potential in this pattern. There's a lot of things that might be kind of fun to try. Um, I don't know how it would turn out, but I'm even considering this as a double wide. I think that would be kind of neat. Actually, this might even turn out to be a pattern that would be really fun for a bag. It might even look a bit like Bargello, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with. It was a real popular thing back in the 70s. Um, Geometric shapes and stuff in repetitive patterns, essentially. Um, so yeah, that could be really, really cool. Might have to play with that as a future thing. I should write that down. That's not a bad idea. You know, because where the black parts are, they would almost have that sort of a, there's like an ornaments that have that sort of shape to it. Yeah, might be really, really cool. I have no idea what colors I would make it in. It's something I could kind of think about, huh? Yeah. Anyways, hopefully you guys are enjoying the video. Hopefully you guys are enjoying my babbling on and coming up with insane ideas for my future self, because if I turn this into a bag, that's going to be a lot of work and a lot of studying the pattern. Why do I do this to myself? What? What? Yeah. Anyway, like I was saying, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you guys are inspired. Maybe something I've said spark something and now you're going to go try it. Maybe you beat me to the whole double wide of this or whatever. That's cool. As long as I've given you an idea of something fun to try and you're happy, I'm happy. So, yeah. Yeah, this is seriously coming to the end, and you can see, because I'm so far away from the clip, the whole board is moving as I'm trying to pull it and keep the tension and everything. So, but I did it so you guys could kind of see what it was doing and what it looked like, and it was so close to the end anyways. So, yeah, I had a problem in there where um trying to get the two strings of the black, they kind of grouped together in a way that it wasn't kind of letting it out. I'm like, Arr. But yeah, it comes together in the end. I'm used to this. And there's the purple, a couple more black ones, and then the big reveal. So yeah, if you stuck around this long, hit like, and maybe leave me a comment. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.